Before we begin, let me inform you that you can find a lot of videos about adventure games in my channel, like the full history of Space Quest, King's Quest, Gabriel Knight, Leisure Suit Larry, Loom, Grim Fandango, and many more. You can also find a 2-hour documentary on the history of the genre with the rise and fall of the adventure games. If you like the content of my channel, please consider supporting it by subscribing and turning on the notifications for it. You can also consider supporting me on Patreon, and you can find the link in the description of this video. Patrons get to choose the topic of new videos, get exclusive updates before any new content, and get a permanent mention in the credits of each new video. We continue our series of retrospectives of iconic adventure game franchises with another Sierra IP. Freddy Farkas, Frontier Pharmacist, was created by two key figures of Sierra, Al Law, the creator of the Leisure Suit Larry franchise, and Josh Mantel, who had collaborated in a lot of the company's franchises like King's Quest, Space Quest, and Larry games. Freddy Farkas' Frontier Pharmacist was inspired by the western black comedy Blazing Saddles by Mel Brooks and was released by Sierra Online in 1993 for the MS-DOS, Microsoft Windows, and Macintosh computers. The story takes place in the 80s at the town of Coarse Gold, California, the second Sierra game to feature this location after Cranston Manor. This city was used as the headquarters of the company were located there at the time of the game's development. The protagonist, Freddy Farkas, was an ex-gunslinger who decided to follow a new career after his last gunfight in which Kenny the Kid shot one of his ears. Freddy sets up his new shop, a pharmacy, at Coarse Gold, only to find out that the local businesses are being bought by a mysterious person, or their owners are being scared out of town. The slimy sheriff, Checkham P. Shift, doesn't seem eager to help either, so it's up to Freddy to find out the details. Freddy must take part in numerous tasks such as mixing the right amount of chemicals to create the required prescription or handle issues and events that occur in the town. Some of those humorous incidents include a gas leak in town originating from horses and a diarrhea epidemic. In fact, there are numerous jokes and references in the game that are based on toilet humor. There are also a lot of references to popular movies and other pop culture. The game itself, as already mentioned, was inspired by the western comedy Blazing Saddles and also cross-promotions of other Sierra games. Zircon Jim Laffer makes a small appearance in the game, a character that is referred to as Larry Laffer's either great-great-great-uncle or great-great-great-grandfather according to various sources. The game uses Sierra's SCI 1.1 engine featuring 256 color hand-drawn art, scaling sprites, and a point-and-click interface. It was initially released in floppy disks, but its sales justified an enhanced CD-ROM version with full voiceover for all characters. However, the CD-ROM version misses a lot of the jokes of the original, especially those written by Josh Mantel. As he mentioned in an interview, "I had co-designed, directed, produced, and written the floppy version. There were no plans at all at the time to produce a CD version. When sales of the floppy version justified a CD version, I was no longer available to produce and direct it, having by then started on Space Quest 6. Al Law was then brought in to do the casting and recording of the CD version, but the game already had so much text in it that when it came time to record the inventory text, Al just stopped. He said, tired of sitting in the sound studio. As I had written the vast majority of the game's text and dialogue, I pointed out to him that in the process of cutting roughly 15% of the game's text from the recording, he'd not only left out many jokes, but also many clues and hints." Al Law has said that he considers Freddy Farkas one of his funniest games and gives a good deal of credit to Josh, who co-wrote it. The game's package also includes a detailed manual styled like the 19th century medical texts titled The Modern Day Book of Health and Hygiene. It includes a lot of prescription recipes required to complete certain puzzles of the game and also acts as a form of copy protection as the user has to give certain answers at the game's launch referring to the manual. Freddy Farkas' Frontier Pharmacist was met positively upon its release, with critics praising the game's humor and puzzles, often comparing it with the other Al Low's brainchild, the Leisure Suit Larry series. According to him, the game sold approximately 150,000 copies during the first year of its release and managed to reach more than 500,000 copies after 3 years. That was the problem with the particular game, that it took it so long to reach these sales levels, and in the meantime, Josh Mandel had moved on and Al Lowe was busy doing other projects. This was the main reason a sequel was never planned or discussed. That was the full history of Freddy Farkas' Frontier Pharmacist, an excellent example of what can be achieved when two talented and gifted professionals team up. It may stand as its own, as the slow pace of its sales made it fly under the radar for possible sequels, but still it is a great and funny game, typical of Al Lowe and Josh Mandel, that can be enjoyed even today. Do not forget to watch my other retrospectives on iconic franchises like Loom, King's Quest, Space Quest, Gabriel Knight, and more. You can also find my 2-hour documentary on the rise and fall of the genre. If you like the content of my channel, please consider supporting it by subscribing and turning on the notifications for it. Thank you all for watching.